água saia mula, não deixa saia mulher, quem saia coto dinheiro coto gaia. Give thanks and praise. All right, this is actually a post-production add-on. I'm putting this in the beginning because I forgot a whole slew of recent events that I wanted to kind of broadcast. So it was actually 2 nights before the Black Hawk Down that I was getting crazy feeds to lament over the Captain America film that is a huge crash right now. The Iconoclasm is getting super obvious. But what's fascinating, on the night that the Captain America, the next film, I don't even know its name, was getting a lot of flack, our guy, Mr. MBB333, had a particular UFO show up on his feed. This was just a couple nights before Black Hawk Down. And this particular UFO had a sigil on it. It was purple and horseshoe shaped, or even maybe bull print. But Jupiter is just about to come out of its retrograde. And in the Captain America film, I was watching the special effects where he's getting blasted, bounced off of car-sized objects. And the special effects had the exact same UFO embedded into the Captain America film. So the shapes of the UFOs, they're the flashy light, Men in Black with the flashy light to make you forget. One of those UFOs was superimposed into the Black Hawk, the Black Captain America debacle that is just a crash and burn. It's a total controlled demolition. Iconoclastic demolition is really what it is. And then, but I'll bring that graphic forward. Captain America, especially the Civil War episode from the original series, was the Temperance card. It was absolutely the Temperance card. And it was kind of fascinating that the Temperance card in the normal deck has wings. Captain America doesn't have wings, but the next generation Captain America does. Completely fulfilling the Temperance card. Temperance is anagrams out to Trump and Pence. Trump and Pence. Hailing back to the Civil War Marvel Avengers film. They're repackaging the Civil War trumpets, temperance, Civil War iconography, and they're popping off a Red Hulk. They're going to do 5 minutes of a Red Hulk. And I bet everything that comes out of Red Hulk's mouth is going to be Wittgenstein, jam-packed with Wittgenstein. And some of the vitriol around Hulk is going to end up landing on Joe Rogan somehow. I don't know how, but that's how I see it coming forward. Joe Rogan is the Wittgensteinian scapegoat. Adolf. He's the Wittgensteinian Adolf. Adolf means head wolf. Kaput Garrett Lupinum. Let him wear the wolf's head. That's what I see in the Rogan studio, now that I'm sussing it out. But yeah, somehow Red Hulk is karmically entangled with our boy Joe Rogan. The Hydra constellation is part of this card. All right. Number 1 on the IAU, Hydra. It's the largest constellation on the IAU. Okay. Also, man, I'm so glad I went back to add this to the beginning. So we're moving into the Centaurid meteor showers on February 8th, 2-8. 28 is the second perfect number. It's a couple days at the end of Navaratri, which we are in the middle of right now. It's, today is Chandrakanta? Oh, no. We might be on Kushmanda's day today. Yeah, I think we're on Kushmanda's day. Today. The muse who creates with a smile. Dang, today it was Leviathan. She's number 4, Davy. That corresponds her to Thalia, the muse of comedy. Democritus was the laughing mocker, the laughing philosopher. And the Leviathan is the infernal name of envy, which is the shadow of the individual. Leviathan. There's a million anagrams in there. Leviathan, the one evil eye. One evil eye. Yeah, one evil eye is in Leviathan. It's crazy. All right, so that's today, the 4th day of Navaratri. And we are moving into the Centaurid meteor showers. But here's the thing, the Alpha Centaurids are long. They've been running, but they peak on the 8th. That's the most meteors that come out per hour. And last night I found just a random headline about they discovered a minotaur under the ocean in somewhere in Mexico or South America. And the minotaur is an amazing statue. But then they showed us 2 shots of this underwater minotaur with his back turned to us. With the back turned is a Rukan figure, so that you will sympathize with the character, to see through their eyes. America's stock market is underwater. Stock market is totally underwater. And there's a holding of the breath, too. There's an aspect, if you're sympathizing with a bull statue underwater, when you look at this Rukan figure, you're expected to hold your breath. And read some of the details of Rukan figure. It's actually debated as to whether it invites, if it merely invites you to sympathize through the eyes of the character, or if it creates a secondary representation. In art, there's some sort of argument over how the Rukan figure works. And I think these could be these could be the right and left brain, could be 2 different worldviews. All right. Yeah, I'm going to get into Elephantine Temple and the Hellenic blackmail. I think we should be looking at Helen respectfully for all the good, but keep an eye out for all the blackmail. They keep history on chokehold. They can blackmail everybody from pointing out where we came from and better control where we're going. All right, I'll get into Elephantine in a minute. Big love and respect, everybody. Levanta saia mula, na deixa saia muria, quem saia coto die do coto gaia. Thanks and praise. Welcome back, dissidents. Oh, you lovely, lovely dissidents. Just a full flow data dump on this episode. I do have a particular discovery I want to put on the record around the number 2 in the Enneagram. But let me put that at the end because I have a great amount of smack talking I think I want to get off my chest. I'm contemplating the significance of the ear castrated event. And I think I'm seeing a great many synchromythic threads tying together in what might add context that people haven't thought of yet. Let's put it that way. Ammon Hillman and his whole chapter of particular interest is, where's my Plato's Republic? There it is. His entire chapter of interest is the apprehension of the Christ in the Garden of Gethsemane. Gethsemane, that's it. I don't even know how to spell that. I'm going to grab my Republic because there is the exact same scene in the opening of Plato's Republic. And it's fascinating because when Christ is apprehended, there is an ear that is cut off one of the guards. Peter draws the sword that they sold their cloak for and cuts the ear off of the guard. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a whole slew of fan fiction around that guard. But there's likewise much fan fiction around Socrates being apprehended by the police. I perceive this entire scene as 100% stellar. It is a stellar event. The hero of the spring, Orion, is notoriously facing in two directions. He is either looking at the Pleiades, chasing after the sisters. Pleiades should get a lot of people's bells ringing. Or he's turned the other direction. Let me make sure I'm right. Yep. He's either going towards the Pleiades, which is the progression of the sun, or he's looking backwards and fighting the bull on the other side. Yes, I'm quite sure. Now, the fascinating requisite artistically is that he has a little dog, Canis minor, and a big dog, Canis major, and he has a bunny rabbit, a skittish bunny rabbit. All the rabbit tail chasing is right here. I want to correspond Canis major with the little boy in Gethsemane that Amon Hillman put so much attention on. And I just want to find the same little boy in Plato's Republic. I went down yesterday to the Piraeus with Glaucon, the son of Ariston, that I might offer up my prayers to the goddess, and also because I wanted to see in what manner they would celebrate the festival, which was a new thing. Agathon says, love is always what is the new thing, the nothing. It's a big nothing. Then he says, I delighted with the procession of the inhabitants, but that of the Thracians was equally, if not more, beautiful. When we had finished our prayers and viewed the spectacle, we turned in the direction of the city, and at that instant Polemarchus, the son of Cephalus, chanced to catch sight of us from a distance as we were starting on our way home. Cephalus is going to be Ophiuchus. He is the headless one. From a distance, this will be Cephalus. He's the headless, coffin-shaped Ophiuchus. This is a central hub for eclipses, particularly lunar standstills. They have a tendency, at this point in space-time, they have a tendency down here by Ophiuchus, and their opposition in the lunar standstill cycles tends to be Orion-based. As we were starting on our way home, and told his servant to run and bid us to wait for him. The servant was sent forward to bid us to wait, to put us in a standstill. The servant took hold of me by the cloak behind and said, Polemarchus desires you to wait. And then he turns around and they get in a little verbal sparring. There's no cutting off of any ears. There is, however, the demos is the dynamic, that the masses, the mob, who has the most people with them has the most justice. That might makes right. And Socrates is like, all right, I'm coming with you. You guys make a good case. So the apprehension of Socrates is the exact moment of the Jesus being captured with a little servant, a little slave, a little diminutive being, intrinsic to playing out the heavens over and over and over. This is the program written before. This is the source of parallelomania. This is the source of parallelomania, and I don't think it's much of a mania. It's only considered that because smart motherfuckers look like crazy motherfuckers to dumb motherfuckers. All right. I wanted to wrap on Hillman because he's presaging only the moments with an over dilated focus on the moment before the ear gets cut off. And then when the ear gets cut off, prophecy season. It's prophecy season. Parallelomania for everybody. Woo! Pow, pow, pow. Program written before, over and over and over, in concordance to Urania, in concordance to the map, to the MAP, the map. This is the map. And they will shitcode it as hard as they can. Also, I want to share about a little, what was it called? A elaborate hoax that I spoke on recently. La boca de inferno, the mouth of the inferno, the mouth of hell. Crowley pulled an elaborate hoax and falsified his suicide in Portugal, and he recruited our guy Pessoa here to bear witness, to be his witness to his false, elaborate suicide. Crowley was following in the footprints of Harry Houdini. I'm inclined to think Harry Houdini falsified his death. And I think Crowley was building the Parthenia, gathering the Parthenia of Houdini's false death so that he could falsify his death. And then I'm going to take it even further while I'm on the record. I think Goethe and Schopenhauer, when they were accused for their pessimistic writing for causing a slew of Clinton events, a slew of Clinton events, I think they were also putting out, patronizing a pattern of motive for people to disappear, to fake their own Clintonicide way back then. I think there's an industry for what we would think of today as witness protection, but I think there's an industry for getting yourself removed off the stage. And I think a lot of control over that industry is in the reconstructive surgery and facelifts, doing facelifts. Lady Frida Harris's father was a plastic surgeon. So falsifying your Clintonicide, I think, is a up and running industry, and it's so parallel to the organ harvesting industry and life extension and all those crazy things. But I just wanted to point out how prepared everybody was from one verse to the next. I mean, he's just a couple verses away from the ear castration. And let me say this, the sword in particular is also referenced in Unum Sanctum. Unum Sanctum is the claim upon the souls based on the truth that the temporal precedes the material. All right, let me get back to the elaborate hoax. So I'm looking at this full card, and I'm seeing South America, in the Boötes constellation that is encoded in the negative space of the card. I'm looking at the Drake's Passage. It's corresponding to the little lizard, the Sobek on the shoes underneath, with the Boötes under his boots. I'm looking at Drake's Passage under South America that looks just like the Boötes constellation. But then I get reason through Pierre Sabak to look up at St. Pierre Island. And I look at St. Pierre Island, and they have a Boca de Inferno. It's a particular harbor with over 300, maybe 600 shipwrecks, some absurd amount of shipwrecks in one harbor. It's called the Mouth of Hell. And I'm asking myself, what does all this have anything to do with Crowley's elaborate hoax where he fakes his death in Portugal at the Boca de Inferno? And sure enough, I look on the Treaty of Tordesillas. That's it, Tordesillas, the Treaty of Turtle Island. And the dividing line between the Portuguese and the Spanish cuts right through the Boca de Inferno on the island of St. Pierre, and it cuts through the South American Drake's Passage. This divide between Spain and Portugal, it's going to be important all over again. It still is for international treaty purposes, you know. It's almost the dividing line where the dates flip, almost. Not exactly, but it's almost where dates flip. It's kind of some of the things I thought about when I saw it. But yes, this Treaty of Turtle Island, sure enough, the Treaty of Tortugas Estrellas is, I'm saying it wrong, but it's an anagram for the Order Estrellas, Order of the Stars. And it's blowing my mind that I can find entire continents with powerful correspondence to constellations. I'm not going to say that the map is lying to us, but I'm going to say that the map has some fascinating shapes being depicted to our subliminal that are stellar. The Ordo Estrellas, the Order of the Stars. So yeah, the Treaty of Turtle Island, the split between Spain and Mexico, La Boca de Inferno, the elaborate hoax. It's a hell of a weave, but I got to put it somewhere, sharing it with y'all. Also, right, flashing lights, flashing flights, flashing lights, Men in Black, being programmed to forget. There's a subliminal request for us to just forget everything we thought we saw and move on. All these flashing lights and the Men in Black narrative is, it's actually gaining magnitude due to the nostalgia spell. People aren't going to accept the new normal. They're going to escape into the old normal. They're running right into the nostalgia spell. And I wonder about nostalgia and time travel. I'm going to bring up a graphic. Nostalgia and time travel. Smell is your strongest sense of memory. Your strongest sense of recall is pulled from the depths of your soul through the power of smell. And there's a part of me that just ponders what the significance of the nostalgia spell has on people who took the nasal swab and lost their innocence. They lost their nose sense when they got the swab. And they are desperate to defend their nose sense that they were participating in this ritual. Yeah, nostalgia and smell. It's really something. What it tells me is that they've done a separating of the wheat and the chaff, and somebody's sense of smell is not normal. Somebody's sense of smell is the new normal, and everybody who didn't participate, we got the old normal. And so there's almost two different flavors of nostalgia to that. All right. No ital loop op. No ital loop op is the word of population in reverse. No ital loop op. Everybody check out Wolfman, Freud's Wolfman. I'm looking at lupus here in the Libra constellation more and more right now. Wolf, obviously werewolves. There's a Jeffrey Dahmer. His name is basically the Ulfdahmer of the Germans. It's right in his name. It's been there all along. He's got the Chump swoosh hair. They put him on Netflix at the same time that Chump with his hair swoosh went on trial. You know, they correspond the Ulfdahmer to the Ulf Donald way back in Libra with the wolf. But I'm looking at The drive to buy local. The drive to buy local. The loco drive-by. I think they are going to subliminally drive the word local, and it's going to sound great, where our hearts are going to open up every time we hear it. But we're also no ital lupop. No ital lupop. We're not going to see the wolf in the word loco. The loco. People are going to be looking at you like you crazy, man. That spell's about to pop off with the tariffs. I just want people's language to open up, to break off the groupthink and find a new word, find another better word for it. It doesn't have to be called what everybody else is calling it. In fact, you might want to just call it crazy loco. Let's go crazy loco. Name it, pull it out, point it out from the woods so the whole population can see it. No ital loop up. The Italian totem animal is the wolf, really. Internationally, the black eagle or the black hawk is German. The bear is Russian. The tiger is Indian. The lion is actually British. That kind of sucks. And American is actually a buffalo, really. A bull, a buffalo, which is interesting because in the Tortuga Island Treaty, both of the Americas are Spain, 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 Spain. Both of the Americas are Spain. Let me say this. Go look at California's flag. They still got deep ties to the Spanish royal houses. And let me say this. Jimmy Savile's name is Twilight language for Jaime Isabel. Jaime Isabel. In Jimmy Savile's name, he's saying, I am a Sybil. I am Isabel. Queen Isabel is the queen that is hailed from the Spanish flag that is still on California's flag. The heraldry is going to be the only truth we can really, really lean in on. The heraldry is speaking so candid to us. So Trump is going to bully the polar bear in Greenland, where Rome never fell. Go look up the Greenland, the Greenland conspiracy. I'm not going to go into that too much, but the animosity between the seeds is basically the Greenland flag. Trump is going to bully the bear. He's poking the bear. Think of this. The Greenland flag has a polar bear. There are no polar bears in Greenland. Trying to tell us that the ice caps are melting, and he's going to bully the ice caps. He's going to poke the bear around the ice caps. There's no polar bears in Greenland. They're polar. So, all of the sympathetic harmonizing to the Coca-Cola polar bears and the global warming, they're just going to have Trump poking the bear over and over and over, and they're just going to pull the heraldry, pull the hair all dry. They're going to pull the hair all dry, and people are just going to not see the symbols. All right. J-Deviance. Give thanks and praise. J-Deviance. We have 12 years ahead of us where the entire population is going to be saying the word J-Deviance and then telling us that you're not allowed to talk about the J's. We have 12 years of that, folks. Everyone's going to be using the phrase J-Deviance, J-Deviance, but don't talk about the J's. Man, the programming is funny, but it's also a black pill. Gotta say this. We've played out conspiracy theory. They're dropping that. They're leaving it behind. They're going to run with the black pill. Black pill's the new self-lobotomized off switch. I don't like black pills. I don't want to think. I can't take it. Y'all, that's the Overton window. They just jumped from conspiracy theorist to black pill. That's your Overton window happening right in front of you. Right in front of you. It's the same thing. It's not even remotely different. It's the same thing. Color revolution, y'all. Color revolution. All right. J-Deviance. That's so silly. It is so silly. All right. I want to put the elephantine temple on the map. I was thinking about all the money from South Africa, all that money in South Africa, and all this strange tipping of the scales to the favor of a certain native of South Africa who is selling a product. Tesla truck is an anagram for let us track. Let us track. Tesla trucks with an S is lets us track. Even better. All that money from South Africa. I think the Elephantine Temple is high-grade archaeological warfare. Everybody look into the Elephantine Temple. I think they're keeping the secret and agreeing to monopolize on not revealing what the Elephantine Temple signifies in terms of people's commitments through history. I said last year that the elephant is the room. The elephant is the room. One of my favorite little metaphors is the three blind men feeling an elephant and describing a snake. The word telepathy is an anagram for elephite. Elephite is an anagram for telepathy. They're fighting over what the elephant is and calling it a snake. Check out the Elephantine Temple, y'all. South Africa's got a very particular trump card in their hat. All right. I think, oh man, American Eagle is an anagram for Enneagram Sicily. Enneagram Cicale. Sicily. I know it's actually Sicily, but it seems silly to make a fuss over that slight difference. Enneagram Sicily out of American Eagle. All right, I'm gonna ease back on the anagrams because I get lost in the sauce, y'all. I get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost in the sauce. Everybody, be careful with getting lost in the sauce. Long enneagrams are more dangerous. There's more margin for conflation. Keep them 1 or 2 words long. Don't get lost in the sauce with whole sentences. I had a headline a couple months ago that was like something about we bang Tulsi north of Richmond too. We bang Tulsi north of Richmond too. Right when the Richmond song was on the radar, and somewhere was catching on fire. And Trump had his mug shots. It was crazy. All right. So I want to share some really amazing discoveries around the Enneagram. And when I read Pausanias's speech in the Symposium, Pausanias is speaker number 2. This is the giver with a shadow of pride, remedial virtue of forbearance. Pausanias is the second speaker. When I read it, I was really prideful. I was very prideful and thought that this is fascinating how it's describing the anthropological anatomy of Spartans. It was just a one-to-one description of how the Spartan culture should work towards self-sacrifice and excelling through sadomasochistic self-sacrifice to impress each other. That was the whole nature of Pausanias's community. He's describing that should be based on love, that they should have a higher Urania Aphrodite and Pandemos Aphrodite, a lower. And this is the basis of classism. They started classism with Pausanias. This is number 2, pride, infernal spirit of Lucifer, remedial virtue of magnanimity or forbearance. Forgiveness is probably pretty powerful too. The Jubilee would totally be on Cleo's lap. The Jubilee would totally be on Cleo's lap. So I'm looking at Pausanias, and I thought I was slick because I was so sure it was the Spartans, but the Spartans had already existed long before the Symposium happened. And he's speaking of it as though it would be unique or an innovation if we made this. Understand, folks, I read the Republic pretty much as though it were written in 1300s. That's how I see it. Anything goes from the 1300s back. Pausanias is an amalgam of 4 different historical characters, one of which assassinated Alexander the Great. They are all boiled into this character in the Symposium. And then, long after the Symposium, there is a Pausanias who is a geographer and the tour guide of Athens. But I realized very recently that Pausanias is exactly a perfect gematological match for Prussian, the Prussian education system. 117 for both words. And that was pretty impressive. And I could plead the case all day about the anthropological implications of Pausanias onto the Prussian school system. Ursa Majora, also 117. Back when I put the prime number constellations around the Enneagram, it was Ursa Majora was sitting on the lap of number 2. Just want to put that on the record. I might run some more tests around some of the other names and significant stations of the Enneagram, but man, was that a powerful one. And, this also in the endocrine system, it's Ursa Majora. Let me say this. It's the big bear. It's the mother bear. It's the largest. It would have to be the only polar bear. Also, in the endocrine, it signifies oxytocin. The oxytocin is the symbol or the endocrine for othering. It's the love chemical for taking in those who are on your side and vilifying others. This is the power of this oxytocin othering mothering. And I'm just looking at Chumpster poking the bear in Greenland, and I'm thinking about oxytocin. I'm thinking about drawing lines in the sand and othering other people as ice is launched onto the world. And everybody wants their entitlements. And they're going to be saying the word loco. Let's buy loco. Just adjust everything to loco. And now the bad guys who were so far away on the globalist stage, now we're going to be looking at each other. We're going to be loco. We're going to be no ital loop op. It's a no ital loop op. Nobody's going to see that they're throwing the word loco out there. And we're all going to think that everybody's crazy. All right. J-Deviance, y'all. Yeah, they are fucking with us. Okay, I just want to mention Cleo. Number 2 in the Symposium, Cleo, the muse of Cleo. She is also the muse of glory. She often has a horn on her hip, little trumpet on her hip, but her name means the clarion blast is another correspondence to her name, the clarion blast. And this is the song of your life. The glory of your accomplishments will be sung after you're gone. And she's sitting there writing down the book of life, and she's going to reflect on you after you pass on. All of that is highly correspondent to the polar bear, the Ursa Majora, the Pausanias, and the Prussian school system. All right. I think I said all the damn things. Oh, use Surrey. Yeah. Don't use Surrey, y'all, if you don't want to end up in the 9th concentric circle of Dante's Easy Bake. Usury. Move that stuff right into our home. Make us feel real cozy with it. Oh, just use Surrey. If you're going to be talking to AI, everybody, stop asking. Start telling your tool what to do. Do not role model for the children that you need to ask your tool. You tell your tool, you command your tool, you bend it to your will. Do not role model subservience to inanimate objects. Am I lecturing to the world right now? Am I lecturing the world? Yeah, I am. All right. It's my channel. I lecture all I want. Okay, all right. Is that all the things? I think that's all the things. Yeah, local. Local, man. It's local. Essay. It's local. All right. Big love and respect, everybody. Bless up. Oh, hey, slick dissident. Yada, 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 yada. Peace.